Hello and welcome to the Sean of the South podcast. I'm Sean Dietrich, and for the next few minutes, I'd like to share a little something that I hope makes you laugh, or brings you hope, or just makes your day a little bit better. When I was a kid, our Christmases were so small you could have held them in the back of a van. It wasn't that we were poor, in so much as my dad was a notorious cheapskate. Mama said that if he ever died, he would walk toward the light merely so he could turn it off. And this was because my father's family sprang from immigrants. Immigrants, these were financially cautious people who only got married for the rice. My father's people were also German, so that means they were humor impaired. Now, I don't mean to generalize here, but as a culture, Germans do not always grasp the subtle nature of humor. I was once hired to entertain for a German Civic Club banquet in Pittsburgh, and I told my first joke and was greeted with only the hum of the AC in the background. At which point, a lady in the audience rose and whispered to her husband, "This man gives me a headache, Heinrich." I stood there, staring at 500 granite faces. Heinrich and I had 59 minutes left. So anyway, our Christmases, when I was a kid, they were handmade affairs, because handmade stuff was just cheaper. And my mother refused to buy gifts when she could hand make them for free. So our wrapping paper was reused supermarket bags. Our decor came from the backyard. My mother sewed everything. My only non-handmade gift, in fact, was usually one manufactured by the Fruit of the Loom Corporation. I'll never forget, though, visiting a friend's house one December day and seeing the stark differences between our holidays. My friend's family had a tree so big it took 4 men to carry it. They needed an FAA license just to put the star on top. And most importantly, his tree wasn't plastic. Inconceivable. There were mountains of gifts, all wrapped in colored paper, and none of their decorations, none of them were made of Elmer's glue and popcorn. Moreover, the whole house was littered with crystal bowls, all filled with glorious little yogurt-dipped pretzels, and you could eat as many as you wanted, and the bowls would magically keep filling themselves back up. Amazing. That night, I rode my bike home, and I wanted to cry. Namely because I think this was the first time I truly realized that we were poor. We had a fake tree from Sears circa 1902. We had stockings that were actual tube socks. And I never realized you could dip pretzels in yogurt. When I got home that evening, my mother was lighting the Advent candles. My cheeks were rosin from the cold, and I reeked of little kid sweat. And I was upset. I felt cheated, and I was about to give my mother a piece of my little mind. Why couldn't we have better Christmases? Why did all our gifts have to be made by hand? This was an injustice. But when I approached, she shushed me as she lit the candles, and she told a story. In winter times past, American immigrant pioneers used to bring wagon wheels into their cabins. They were so poor, they didn't have enough to eat. So, to entertain themselves, they decorated their place. Then they decorated the wagon wheels in greenery, then suspended them from the rafters and placed 4 candles upon the wheels. These wagon wheel wreaths were the centerpieces of their Christmas, long before trees became in fashion. The candles represented hope, peace, joy, and love, which my mother said are the only gifts poor immigrants could afford to give one another. But these are not cheap gifts, mind you, for they are the same gifts given to us every day from on high. Where would you be without hope, or peace, or joy, or love? Then my mother said that even though the modern Christmas had become a commercial holiday, even though other families were buying four-wheelers, G.I. Joes, and couples massage Barbie, it didn't mean that poor families couldn't have Merry Christmases too. And we stood there in the glow of the flickering Advent candles. I could smell cornbread and navy beans in the kitchen. Our construction paper chain garland looked tired, and our pitiful tree leaned against the corner like a fuzzy drunk. And I thought of the people I came from. Poor people, hard-working foreigners and pioneers, people who made their way in this nation against all odds. I looked at my mother. I said, "Do you know about yogurt-covered pretzels?" She smiled. "Yes, I know." "They're amazing," I said. "They really are." "Can we get some at the store?" I asked. My mother smiled. "No, but we can make our own." Well, thanks for listening to Sean of the South. I've been your host today, Sean Dietrich, and it has been a true privilege. To find out anything more about what I do, you can visit SeanDietrich.com, or for those who are not particularly good spellers, you can visit SeanOfTheSouth.com, and there you can find out all sorts of information that you didn't know you didn't need to know about me. And while you're there, I hope you take the time to drop me a line. Tell me what's important to you. Tell me what's going on in your life. I'd like to hear it. And in case anyone hadn't told you today already, I love you. Now go say that to somebody else. Have a great day.